College of the Canyons looking for back-to-back wins for the first time this season as they start their WSC-South slate against the 6-8 Glendale Vaqueros. Hi, everybody, and welcome into Lee Smelser Court. I'm Matt Robinson. Glad to have you along. Before we get started, we just want to start the same way we did in the women's game. If you're joining us after that one, and send our thoughts quickly out to those affected by the wildfires here in Southern California. Absolutely devastating events over the last week in Pacific Palisades and Altadena, most notably. A number of other communities also seeing fires. At our last count, 10 different brush fires burning this week. Thousands of homes and businesses destroyed. Some going as far as calling it apocalyptic, the devastation. We sincerely hope everyone is able to stay safe, get the help they require. We also want to pass along our thank you to first responders, firefighters, and their families for the work they continue to do to protect our communities. We hope everybody is safe. We know Glendale had a little bit of an effect from the Altadena fire, it's the Eaton fire, they're calling it out in Altadena. Pacific Palisades fire is actually burning towards Encino. That actually canceled Santa Monica, LA Valley today. So we hope everybody's safe and all right, and hopefully we can provide a little bit of a distraction for everybody today as we get ready for some men's college basketball. For College of the Canyons, like we said, trying for back-to-back wins. They are coming off a nice 83-77 win over LA Pierce, hoping to build some momentum after that game and start their conference season off on the right foot. They got a solid performance from Donovan Chapman, who was great in the game. Another double-double, 12 points, 12 rebounds in 31 minutes for Chapman. He's come on strong, 3 double-doubles now on the season, has played really well lately. 7 games with 10 or more points this season. Had another impressive output. Going against a Glendale team that they're a high-powered offense in a sense. They shoot a high volume. They don't score a lot, though. 69.3%. They shoot 39% from the floor this season, which is 93rd in the state, but they are a high-volume team. They need to shoot the 3-ball well, defend the 3-ball well to be successful, especially here against a good Canyons squad tonight as we get you the starting lineups here from Lee Smelser Court inside the Cougar cage. For Glendale, Noah Smith, Tyson Jackson, Marion Fields, Nigel Dickens, and Jonathan Akim. For College of the Canyons on the other side, Donovan Cornelius, Stacy Webb, Wyatt Wilson, Donovan Chapman, and Gilad Ziegel in the starting lineup. Cougars going with a different look with their starting 5 today. Usually we see Roz back in there. It'll be Wyatt Wilson and Jonathan Hakim to jump. Wilson, who can jump out of the gym, has won most of the tips he's been up for this year, and he wins another one. As Canyons to work on the offensive side as we are underway. College of the Canyons and Glendale here. Wilson with a 3 on the opening look. An opening salvo for Wyatt Wilson. Knocks down a 3. And Canyons with an early 3-0 lead. For the Cougars this season, they've had 3 games with 10 or more threes this year. They're 2-1 in games where they make 10 or more threes, and that's kind of, it's a team that really, they're looking for their identity. At times they've been, we're going to shoot the 3, we're going to shoot it a lot, we're going to hope it goes in. At times they've been, we're going to get the ball inside, try and go to work. It's still a team that's looking for their identity. Still a very young team for College of the Canyons this year. Not just one returner on the roster in Roz Orbach. Everybody else, freshmen, everybody else still growing together, but a lot to look forward to, a lot to be excited about, despite a tough 4-10 start. As they go to work here on offense, Webb, who's been a good handling guard this year, lost the ball for a second. They get it to Wilson again. A little heat check early on. Misses. Chapman able to knock the rebound loose, and Ziegel gets the putback in there. Gilad Ziegel, who averages just a shade under 5 points a game, gets his first bucket. And Canyons on a 5-0 run here to start. For Glendale, we talked about they want to be a high-volume team. 5 games with 10 or more 3 points made against this year. The defense really has been a struggle, and they travel here as Hakim turns it over. Minjan Gillizen, the head coach for Glendale in his 4th year, really has his team. They shoot a lot. Talk about this year trying to be a high-volume team. 6 games with 60 or more field goal attempts. 11 games with 50 or more field goal attempts. They shoot the ball in terms of jump shot range as Ziegel has his second bucket a lot. So they have a very light glass presence. They haven't out-rebounded an opponent yet this season. And we'll see if that continues to factor in. Count it, and the foul, a three-point play opportunity for Noah Smith as he gets on the board. Smith, one of the danger men to watch here for Glendale. Sorry about the graphic popped back up. We apologize for that. But we've got it down now. We see it here. So for Noah Smith, one of the danger men for Glendale, it's a three-headed attack for the Vaqueros. Smith, Jackson, and Nigel Dickens all have been very good this year, averaging 15 points a game as a trio. Smith gets the three-point play as he's an 80% foul shooter on the season. Canyon's back to work with a 7-3 lead. Bounce pass inside. Cornelius able to rip it away from the Vaqueros as Tyson Jackson couldn't come away with it. And Canyons stays effective on the offensive side. 4 of 5 here to start. A 9-3 lead for the Cougars. Here's a three for Tyson Jackson. It's good. And again, we talked about Glendale. Want to shoot the three ball a lot. They want to shoot it well. They need to shoot it well. They need to defend it well to have a chance here today. At 6-8, that's really been their bread and butter. Canyons turns it over. Tough turnover here as the pass was away from Wyatt Wilson. Howard Fisher up off the bench after that turnover in his 25th year as the Canyons head coach, hollering out some instructions. Glendale back to work offensively. Smith lost the ball, got it back. Floater in the lane, no good. Chapman tried to draw, charge, didn't get it. Canyons back the other way on a defensive board. Cornelius, little circus shot, no good. Wilson, the offensive rebound, and Ziegel will pick it up. He tries to drive baseline, spins. Canyons will work back into a half-court offense. Ziegel wanting to take his man off the dribble. Tried the Euro step in the lane, no. Hakim pulls down the rebound. Glendale quickly back ahead. They want to push the pace. Cornelius able to alter his shot at the rim as trying to go up was Dickens. Cornelius going to get credit with a block. He'll run it back the other way. Wilson, a three from the wing is good. Second three for Wyatt Wilson. He's got 6, and Canyons leads by 6. So a good shooting start for Wyatt Wilson. 2 of 3 from 3 here. Here's Hakim for Glendale. Holding, drops it. Smith looking for another, and he's got another 3. Noah Smith, his first 3 of the ball game. Second 3 for Glendale. Smith now with 6. And it's back to a 12-9 Canyons lead. We talked about Glendale needing to shoot the ball from 3 well. One thing they need to do well as not foul. Canyons, one of the best teams, or actually, scratch that, the best team in the state at drawing fouls. They draw 21.4 fouls per game. Unfortunately, Canyons, also one of the worst teams in the state at committing fouls, averaging 18.6. Cougars games this season have been some of the most penalized in the state as they average 40 fouls per game this season. Here's a 3 from Chapman, no good. 12-9 in favor of Glendale. Three-pointer short that time for Noah Smith. Substitutions here for Glendale. Kim coming off the floor. Tisdale coming in. We also get Aziz Muhammad into the game for the first time today. There's a 3 for Cornelius is good. And Canyons trying to find their own heat from 3. Third triple of the ball game for the Cougars. 15-9 the score. Glendale back to work offensively. They work in a weave. They kick it out to the outside. It actually bounced off a foot to the outside to Jackson, whose 3 was no good. Raz Orbach into the game, pulls down a rebound. Webb will find Wilson. Now to Orbach. Orbach dumps it back off to Webb, and Canyons will set into a half-court offense. Cougars actually going with Justin Perez off the bench, who's their leading scorer this year. They did that against L.A. Pierce, and it really found something in that game against Pierce. Is Cornelius going to be called for stepping on the sideline. We'll see Justin Perez at the table and into the game for the first time to take over for Cornelius. Kind of changed things up for Canyons. Perez actually had a nice game, 16 points, 3 boards, and 32 minutes off the bench. 2 straight games now in double figures for him after he started the season with 11 straight. As he checks in here, Glendale back to work. Tyson Jackson on the offensive side for the Vaqueros, trying to work off a screen. Canyons switching. Smith will send it inside. Muhammad had it knocked out of his hands. Chapman able to save it. Perez wants to push the pace, sends it to Wilson. Wilson slows it up, kicks it back Chapman. Thought about a wing 3, and instead he'll back it off into a half-court set. Perez now. Wilson into the corner. Chapman dumps it inside, block extended. Orbach wanting to back down his man, could not. Now takes a left-handed shot that doesn't fall. Couldn't get his own rebound. Dickens, good defense that time against Orbach. Dickens at 6'3", Orbach at 6'3". Orbach maybe has 20 pounds on Dickens. Is Orbach a little bit bigger of a body in terms of muscle-wise, but Dickens holding out strong that last time. And it'll stay at 15-9. Good 2 big strides from Smith, but couldn't finish it off. Canyons another rebound. They'll push the pace ahead this time. Webb trying to draw contact, threw up a wild shot. Dickens with the rebound, wants to outlet quickly, throws it a little bit too far ahead. Glendale gonna turn it right back over to Canyons. Wilson into the front court, dribbles himself out of some trouble. Wilson catches now on the near side. He'll put up a 3 for his 3rd of the day. Air ball. Perez pulls it down, bumps his man, couldn't finish it home. Rebound fought for, still loose. Mohammed fighting for it. Now we're going to get a whistle for a foul on Raz Orbach. His first, second on Canyons. So 15-9 the score. About 7 minutes gone here in the first half. Tisdale with the basketball, trying to dump it off. Good vision by Webb to steal it. And Webb gonna sprint it back ahead, lays it off the window and in. Stacey Webb, his first bucket, and Canyons now with an 8-point lead. Good start defensively for the Cougars here today. They've hounded Glendale. They've held the Vaqueros early on to just 3 of 9 from the floor. Turnaround jumper that time from Jackson. You can see Glendale, they have the ability to shoot jump shots. They don't do a lot from inside the painted area in terms of near the restricted area, but have a lot of athletes around the perimeter that can shoot. You see it that time with Jackson who knocks it down. He averages 15.8 per game, the leading scorer for Glendale. Travel going to be called against Donovan Chapman. Substitutions coming in. Marion Fields coming back onto the floor. Gilad Ziegel and Donovan Cornelius coming in to take over for Webb and Chapman. Six-point lead here. For Canyons, 12-10 to go. Jackson wanted to drive. Cornelius cut him off. Then Cornelius got a hand on it. Jackson gets it back, spins around. Follow-away jumper from 6 feet is good. It's a beautiful shot from Tyson Jackson. You see why he's the leading scorer for Glendale. Like we said, that 3-headed monster that all average over 15. Ziegel gonna get credit for an assist on a ball that he just lost to Wyatt Wilson, who lays it home. Wilson with an easy bucket. Doesn't come much easier than that. He's got 8 points. Glendale with a 3 off the other side. It's back and forward we go. It's back to a 3-point game. Canyons trying to run the fast break the other way off the inbound. Cornelius draws the foul, and he'll get to the line. So interesting, just back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. We've kind of gone, you see it off the inbound. Cornelius just reading, seeing that it's a 2-on-1 if he wants it, and just able to draw the foul that time. Donovan Cornelius this season, 77% from the line, knocks down the first, 48 of 62 before that shot. Back to a 4-point lead. Happy and Muhammad back off the floor. As as Kurt Johnson into the game for the first time, along with Noah Smith. Cornelius makes both. Donovan Chapman will check in to take over for Wyatt Wilson as Canyons continues through their rotations. Glendale back through their offensive set. Johnson will leave it off. Jackson wanted to drive against Chapman. Follow-away jumper from the foul line, no good. Orbach, the long rebound. Got it over to Donovan Cornelius on the far side. Canyons into a half-court offense into the front court. 21-16, 11-11 to go. Canyons will work it to Orbach on the far block. He'll try and bounce it down, working against Johnson. Gets it inside, little left-handed hook in the lane is good. That's where Orbach can be very effective. He shoots 47.6% in losses this year, just 35% on the offensive side in wins. But if they can get him to be effective inside like that, it'll certainly help Canyons, especially today against this team in Glendale that wants to play along the perimeter. They miss a couple of opportunities. Chapman the rebound, outlet Cornelius, and Canyons back ahead. 23-16 now. Cornelius bounce pass inside Orbach. Orbach again working against Graham this time. Will kick it back. Perez, a three, no good. Graham good inside position, pulls down the boards. And back the other way comes Glendale. Fast pace we've gone here so far. Just 4 fouls in this first period. 23-16 the score. An offensive foul going to be called against Marquise Graham. Going to be his first as he holds Perez on the rebound. And Canyons will go back to work with the basketball here. Donovan Cornelius checking off. Stacey Webb back into the ballgame. Canyons with 8 points from Wyatt Wilson, 7 points from Donovan Cornelius here early on. Tyson Jackson with 10 of 16 points for Glendale. Here's Ziegel, an elbow jumper, no good. Orbach tried to tip it back to the rim, no. Pulled down by Johnson, he'll run back the other way, dumps it off to Noah Smith. Smith, who has the other 6 Glendale points, tried to work it inside, had it stolen. Perez, 3-on-1 for Canyons, will dump. Webb trying to draw contact at the rim, no. Perez got the rebound, throws it up, and he'll get it to fall. Perez with his first bucket of the day. Good work on the inside from Canyons. They're out rebounding Glendale 14-8 here in the first half. 9:30 to go, 25-16, the lead back up to 9. Dickens with a basketball, will send it over to Fields. He'll dump it off into the hands of Johnson. Johnson trying to drive, an offensive foul going to be called against Kurt Johnson as Perez outside the restricted area draws the charge. And a timeout called by Glendale on the floor. 25-16, 9:20 to go. Canyons leading, will step aside. .25-16 Canyons leading. The Cougars will go back to work with the basketball here. First game of the WSC-South season for College of the Canyons and Glendale. Donovan Cornelius back into the game. We'll get it to Perez. Back to Cornelius, cutting to the basket. And Cornelius going to be called with an offensive foul and a charge. As Hakim had his feet outside the restricted area and draws the charge that time. Howard Fisher wasn't happy with the call. He's waited for the official to run all the way up the floor so he can say something to him about it. Kind of that game inside the game for a coach, trying to make sure the officials are keeping it even, keeping things the way you would like it as much as you can. Glendale back to work offensively. They dump it off underneath and inside of Marion Fields. Good attack that time along the perimeter for Glendale by Kurt Johnson to create that. It's back to a 25-18 lead. Donovan Cornelius back to work. Here's Galad Ziegel. Out of Perez. Canyons along the perimeter so far here on this offensive possession. Johnson got a hand on that one from Cornelius. Cornelius now going to try and drive. Kicks it back. Chapman, 18-footer, no good. Perez and Cornelius fight and pull down the rebound for Canyons. And then they draw a blocking foul. Going to be called against Glendale. Going to go against Kurt Johnson. Picks up his second foul. It's the it's the fourth on Glendale, even though the board says the fifth. Wilson back in to take over for Johnson. Webb off the inbound, trying to work baseline. Canyons back into a perimeter set here. Perez, good bounce pass over to Wilson for three. No. Or excuse me, that was Webb for three. And then Cornelius is going to be called for a foul 90 feet away from the basket here. Second foul on Cornelius is going to be called for the trip. Third on Canyons. Now Marco Figueroa up at the table. He'll check in to take over for Cornelius here, who goes to the bench with 2 fouls. So Figueroa, who doesn't get a lot of minutes, just averaging 9.6 minutes per game, will have to play some heavy minutes here as Canyons within their rotation right now. Having Cornelius with 2 fouls. Hakim misses, altered by Wilson that time as he went up. Good late contest by Wyatt Wilson. Perez gonna step into a 3, no. Rebound comes off the rim and falls into the hands of Fields. Fields up ahead. Glendale gonna save it on a backcourt violation and go to work. 3-pointer, no good. Ball tips out off of Chapman. It'll stay with Glendale on a reset here. 7:19 to go, 25-18 the score. 16 of their 18 points right now for Glendale from Tyson Jackson and Noah Smith. Marion Fields with another bucket. And there's another 3 for Tyson Jackson, already with 13 in the ball game. His 5th straight game with double figures. He's trying to keep Glendale close. Chapman, no good, too strong off the window as he backed himself into a position to shoot. Glendale back the other way. Hakim will put up a 3, short. Perez the rebound. And he'll slow things up a little bit. Sends it Figueroa. Figueroa wants to put up a 3, too strong. Chapman the rebound. In the painted area, a little right-hander in the lane is good. Donovan Chapman gets his first bucket of the ball game off the offensive board. Lead back up to 6. Then a foul before the shot by Smith. Called on Webb, and actually they're gonna say it was on the shot. And Noah Smith, who's an 80% foul shooter on the year, 37 of 46. Already 1 of 1 today. Misses the first. The broadcaster jinx in effect, as Glendale will make some substitutions here. We see Norakachian for the first time today, along with Dickens back in there. One of 2 good that time for Smith. Chapman thought about a 3. Instead, we'll dump it off Figueroa. Figueroa works off the Chapman screen, was trying to get it inside to Orbach. He was able to recollect. Now Figueroa will take a corner 3 that's no good. Wilson the rebound, the putback is there. Wyatt Wilson with 10 points now into double figures for the 5th time this season. And Canyons with a 29-22 lead. Wilson some early work. This looked good on the glass today. Here's a 3, no good. Orbach trying to save the rebound, crashed into the wall. It'll be Glendale basketball, but you like the hustle from Roz Orbach that time. Canyons out contending Glendale on the glass, 19-12 here early on. Carroll's back to work. Wilson with a block. Now Johnson inside. Arkachian will throw it over Dickens. Good movement from Glendale. They get an open look three for Smith that's no good. Wilson the board, quick outlet ahead. Cornelius will send it far side. Stacey Webb fakes, now steps into a 15-footer that's good. Stacey Webb with his second bucket of the ball game. 31-12 the score, 5:20 to go. Canyons offense clicking, and the defense playing pretty good as well, as they've made it hard on this Glendale offense early on. There's an easy bucket though, his first of the day for Nigel Dickens. Breaks a little 4-0 Canyons run. Foul going to be called against Arkachian away from the basketball. It resets it to keeps the shot clock at 25, so it'll stay at a full 30 here for Canyons. Canyons will go to work on the offensive side. Donovan Cornelius back into the game. Controls and runs the point here for Canyons. Orbach, block extended near side, trying to work his way down. Gets an open look for Cornelius from the corner for three, is good. Donovan Cornelius knocks down the three. He's in double figures with 10. And the lead is 10 for Canyons with 4:40 to go here in the first half. Turnover by Glendale as Jackson throws it off the foot of Dickens. The Canyons defense making it tough on Glendale right now, holding the Vaqueros to just 9 of 25 from the floor. They've out-rebounded them 20-14, and they go back to work on the offensive side with a 10-point lead. Orbach into the corner, Figueroa. Back to Wilson. Sends it far side, Chapman, or Cornelius, excuse me. Cornelius trying to get it to Chapman. Had it knocked away from him. Ball is loose on the field. Cornelius able to tie it up, and we have a foul called on Glendale, I believe. So that'll help Canyons. That'll actually put him at the line for 1-1 here. Foul going to go against Marquise Graham. And it'll send Donovan Cornelius to the line for 1-1. Cornelius 2 for 2 from the line here today. 7th foul on Glendale. The Cougars in the bonus. First is good, so Cornelius will shoot the penalty. Second is no good. Splits the pair, 35-24. Foul away from the basket on the drive. Sixth foul on Canyons. Glendale inbound from just in front of the Canyons bench. Johnson will get it into play. Graham will dump it off. Jackson wanted to drive. Now Jackson will step into a top of the key jumper. Good contest that time from Donovan Chapman, who then comes back and pulls down the rebound. Cornelius sprinting it ahead. Now Chapman catches back to Cornelius. Canyons wanting to work inside to Orbach. Now they do, as Orbach was fighting off Graham. Still trying to back Graham down. Little jumper in the lane, no good. Cornelius trying to pull down the rebound. It's loose and finds its way to Wyatt Wilson, and Canyons will reset. Chapman, top of the key jumper, no good. Orbach the rebound, back to Chapman again. Draws contact and gets to the line. Take a look, good work on the glass again from Canyons. Chapman, who is 74% foul shooter, 46 of 62 on the season, goes to the line for 2 shots. Misses on the first. Chapman quiet so far, 1 of 4 from the field, but 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Gilad Zigel coming back in to take over from Roz Orbach. Wouldn't expect big minutes out of Orbach today, who averages 25.9, heavily taped on that left knee, and I think that's why Zigel in the starting lineup today, to give Orbach a chance to get some spells at the bench. Chapman makes 1 of 2. 12-point lead for Canyons, 36 of 24. Here's a 3 on the way for Glendale. Good, Nigel Dickens. Canyons doesn't want to let him get hot. He's got 5 now. Cuts the lead back down to 9. Wilson now for Canyons on the far wing. Works off the Zigel screen. Figueroa into the corner. Chapman for 3. Counted in the foul! Donovan Chapman. Chance for a 4-point play as he knocks it down. Good work from Canyons along the perimeter this time. Wilson working off the Zigel screen. Figueroa making that extra pass on a late closeout into the space of Chapman. Knocks it down, and Chapman starting to find his rhythm. He's got 6. We'll head to the line to make it a 7th point and make it a 13-point lead potentially for Canyons here. Makes it. Give the lead 13, 40-27, 2:50 to go. Figueroa checking out, Perez coming back in. Glendale trying to find some rhythm on offense. Smith fouled on a 15-footer. On a late closeout by Donovan Cornelius, his 3rd foul. And that's going to send Cornelius to the bench for the remainder of the first half as Stacey Webb will get back up and come back in with 2 fouls. That's not good for Canyons. You got to figure both Cornelius and Webb going to be in foul trouble with the slick guards, Jackson and Smith on the other side for Glendale. So now you've got both your point guards with 5 combined fouls. Cornelius with 3 of them. Webb with 2. And now that makes it makes the opportunity for Smith. Canyons a turnover off the inbound. Smith misses, gets the rebound, dumps it off. Fields, travel gonna be called, and Canyons gets away with a turnover off the inbound play. So a good break for Canyons that time. Wilson an air ball and an elbow jumper. He said you got to figure the 2 point guards in foul trouble. Going to create even more opportunities for Jackson and Smith, but Jackson going to be called for an offensive foul that time, charging the call. Good job by Canyons defensively. We'll take a look at the restricted area here. Zigel, certainly good job by Gilad Zigel that time to get himself up underneath and draw the foul. Webb guarded tightly here by Noah Smith. Gonna be able to get it up across the timeline. Chapman, now to Perez. Up to Wilson, 3-pointer for Wilson on the way is good. Wyatt Wilson staying hot, 3 of 6 from 3. He's got 13. It's 43-29 Canyons here with 1:50 to go in the first half. Smith now with the basketball for Glendale. Up top, Muhammad got it to Dickens. Dickens driving, offensive foul on Dickens. Drawn by a couple of Cougars that time. Both Chapman and Perez there to draw it. As you take another look. Dickens driving as he beat Zigel, and both Chapman and Perez right there. Dickens is hurt afterwards. He'll get some help up. Crashed down pretty hard. Not sure if it's his wrist, his legs. Looked like he was holding his right arm, and yeah, it seems like it's his right wrist as he crashed down. So we'll get a substitution here for Dickens. Henry Tisdale will check back in as Dickens going to get treatment from the athletic training staff. Glendale in a full court press here. Manny Martinez into the game. Alexander Martinez into the game for the first time. Has it stolen by Glendale, and Noah Smith lays it in. Canyons deep into their bench in terms of point guards. Chapman had it knocked away, then dives onto the floor. Canyons will call a timeout here. Good work from Chapman to dive and collect the ball. .30-second timeout. I think there was a foul called on Glendale. No, there was not a foul called by foul called on Glendale. I'm sorry. Official was pointing at the bench. Or pointing at, he was talking to the scorer's table with numbers up on his hands. That usually signals a foul, so threw me off there. So Canyons will go back to work. 20 seconds on the shot clock here. 1:18 to go in the first half, 43-31. Canyons by 12 right now. Wyatt Wilson with 13 points leading the way for Canyons. Tyson Jackson with 13 points leading the way for Glendale. Canyons inbounds it to Alexander Martinez. Into the corner, Wilson. Gets it to Ziegel, block extended. 2 big steps, little sky hook for Gilad Ziegel. A junior sky hook for the freshman out of Woodland Hills, Taft High School. On the lead, 45-31. Good offensive movement by Glendale, but Smith can't finish on the reverse layup. Instead, Muhammad gonna drive and put it in, as he's got 2 big strides around the defense. Cuts it back to 12, inside of 60 seconds to go in the first half. Martinez has it stolen by Smith as Glendale double teaming. Smith will lay it in on the fast break. It's a 4-0 run, and Canyons needs to get it in here. Glendale in that full court press trying to close the gap. They trail by 10. Shot clock is off, final 30 seconds of the first half. We'll get it down to 20 here as Martinez in the center circle, works it to Ziegel. Back to Martinez. Martinez bounce past Ziegel, driving on a cut, lays it off the window. Good vision from Alexander Martinez to get the bucket. Final 3 seconds for Glendale here. A heave from Noah Smith, no good. Canyons will take a 47-35 lead into the halftime break. We'll step aside. A good first half. We'll have an even better second half when we come back here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Welcome to College of the Canyons, where students become the success stories of tomorrow. Whether you're already in the workforce or just getting started, our flexible schedules are a game changer. And students don't just earn degrees. They catapult into desirable careers in top 4-year universities for just $46 per unit. Quality education without crushing debt. Ditch the cookie-cutter mold of college and make college work for you. Register now at canyons.edu/schedule.
The Jersey Mike's catering box is the easiest way to feed your friends. The hard part is picking your sub. That's why we're having a draft. With the first pick, Sarah from Carolina selects number 13, the original Italian.
You know, I trusted my gut, and that's exactly where the sub's going to go. So,
Hold on, we've got a trade. Jake traded his second pick with me, because I'm starved. Freshly sliced subs to go, wherever you and your friends go. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Whether we're on the move or stuck in one place, it's with us, comforting, healing, and transforming lives. It's the power of you. With 4 world-class hospitals and over 170 clinics across Southern California, together, we're building a healthier community. We're your neighbors, your friends, your family. It begins with you. UCLA Health.
Can I get it Mike's way? What's happening?
And your free sub. Enjoy.
That was super weird.
Oh, that? Nah. She just used the Shore points you can now earn from chip and drink purchases to get free sub through the app. Download the Jersey Mike's app and earn rewards towards free subs with every sub, Pepsi, and Lay's you purchase.
Make hosting your next event easy with the Dr. Diane G. Van Hook University Center. With over 30 meeting spaces, wireless video teleconferencing capabilities, food service, and technical support available, the University Center has everything you need to make your next event shine. Conveniently located near the 5 and 14 freeways in Santa Clarita, the University Center offers easy access to local airports and many attractions, making it the ideal meeting place for everyone. To learn more about our rental options or to book now, visit canyons.edu/University Center.
Welcome back, Elite Smelser court inside the Cougar cage. College of the Canyons leading Glendale 47-35 here. Western State Conference South Division opener for both these sides. It was a solid first half for the Cougars. 18 of 40 from the floor, 6 of 15 from 3. Holding Glendale just 13 of 33 from the floor. Glendale does have 5 3-pointers in the ball game. Cougars 13 points from Wyatt Wilson, 11 points from Donovan Cornelius. Glendale 13 points from Noah Smith and Tyson Jackson. Those are your scorers in double figures after the first half. Canyons this season, again, a team that is still finding an identity, still searching for an identity. You say, how can that be? It's so late in the year at this point, but they really have not figured out whether they're going to be a straight 3 team, a team that gets the ball inside. Right now, they're on track to knock their 8th game down with 25 or more field goals, and that's a good sign for Canyons. And their 3 wins, you look, they put in 29 in their win over Oxnard, 30 over Long Beach, 28 over Orange Coast, and 30 over LA Pierce. So when they're knocking down shots and they're effective from the floor, shooting in the 40 and 50 percentile, they have a chance to win ball games. They've been in a lot of games this year. They just haven't cleanly knocked things down. There's a 3 to start for Nigel Dickens, and a foul called against Roz Orbach. And Dickens going to go to the line for a 4-point play. Canyons does not want to let him get started. Dickens, who averages 15.6 points per game, shoots 45% from 3, 16th best in the state. Starting to find his range, is 2 for 2 from 3. Knocks down another one on the foul shot, and makes it all of a sudden a 47-39 game. Canyons with a 15-point lead at half. Dickens gonna get another one after Cornelius had it stolen from behind. He finishes with 2 hands. Dickens now with 11, and the trio of leading scorers for Glendale has started to come alive here at the start, leading by Nigel Dickens. And then a foul called against Tyson Jackson. Jackson with his 3rd will go to the bench for Kurt Johnson. Glendale, one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the state. 8.4 threes made per game, that's 16th in the state. 27.2 attempted per game, it's 11th most, but they only shoot 31%. That's why Wilson fouled. Second quick foul here on Glendale. Outside of that, Glendale, they've struggled everywhere else on the offensive side, have struggled on the defensive side as well, giving up 75 points per game. They're back within 6. No shot foul on the floor against Glendale on what would have been an easy basket against Wilson, but you take the foul. Now that's 3 against Glendale. Canyons will run a different offensive play this time. They get it to Ziegel. Dumps it off underneath Orbach, blocked from behind by Mohammed, but it came to Chapman, now to Ziegel. Back to Chapman, driving baseline. Blocked from behind by Mohammed again. Aziz Mohammed with a couple of blocks that time. Hakeem on the other side trying to go baseline. We'll kick back to Noah Smith. Far side, Dickens, the sharpshooter for 3, his 3rd of the game. And Glendale has it right back into a 1-possession game. 47-44, Nigel Dickens red hot to start here in this second half. Foul called against Mohammed underneath the basket. That's 4 fouls on Glendale here in the first 2 minutes of the second half. So Canyons could easily be into the bonus early. They run that inbound play. Counted in the foul for Wilson. Same inbound play Canyons ran earlier that didn't count for a bucket because of a foul. This time they run it on that little end around screen almost looking thing like a football game, and Wilson lays it in with the left hand and has a chance for the 3-point play. Wilson 15 points, 6 rebounds in the ball game. His first trip to the line today. Wilson, a 66% foul shooter, just his 15th foul shot made of the season, but he knocks it down and the lead back to 6. Wilson now has matched his season high of 16, which came all the way back in the first game of the year against Oxnard. He did it again against Mount Sac. Chance to try and make his season high. As we continue on, Canyons with a 6-point lead. Ball swatted out of the hands of Fields. He got it back, kicks it out. Smith for 3, no good. Chapman the rebound, fights off 2 Glendale players, gets it out to Webb. Webb trying to get it in, just forced it inside. Tipped away by Glendale. That'll upset Howard Fisher as he's up off the bench. Fields loses the basketball. It'll go with Canyons. We'll see substitutions. Perez and Cornelius in to take over for Ziegel and Webb. Perez now for Canyons. Is that a quiet day off the bench, just 2 points. Chapman counted in the foul for Donovan Chapman. He's got 9, a chance to get to double figures. It works all off the Perez dump here. You take a look, Perez just dumps it. Chapman a little too aggressive from Glendale for Dickens that time. And Chapman just beats everybody to the basket and draws the foul. Goes against Muhammad, his 3rd. Chapman to the line is 2 of 3 today. Put him in double figures, he's got 10. 8th time this season for Chapman in double figures. And Chapman, when Canyons wins games, you look at Donovan Chapman's numbers, he averages 14 points in their wins, just 7.9 in their losses. So this right now with him at 10 points, looking very good for Canyons, as he's a guy that needs to be effective. Same thing for Donovan Cornelius. Averages 14 points and wins, just 8.9 in losses. He's in double figures with 11 points. Cornelius will get it inside Orbach. Back out to Cornelius. A 3 on the way. Bang for Donovan Cornelius. And Canyons has stretched the lead to 12. Back the other side, a miss. Smith goes down hard. Perez pulls it down. Got it to Cornelius. Pass into the corner. Wilson for 3 was short. Rebound kicked off the knees of Dickens. Back quickly ahead. Wilson a block. Good job getting back to knock it away from Tisdale. Smith a 3, no. Chapman, the rebound. And fouled from behind by Glendale. Coming down on top of him that time was Marquis Scram, and that's going to put Canes at the line for 1-1 for the rest of the second half. And we have 16:44 to go. That is huge right now. 7 fouls in the first 4 minutes. So every foul from here on out against Glendale puts Canyons at the line. Chapman, gets that one to roll along the entire port. He couldn't do that if he tried again. It's like a trick shot, but he knocks it down. Chapman now with 11, 4 of 5 from the line. Make it 12, and Canyons shooting fouls the rest of the game. Chapman now with 12. 58-44. Canyons leading. 16.5 to go here. That is huge right now with the 7 fouls already on Glendale in this first 4 minutes. The Canyons will have a chance to go to the line the rest of the night anytime Glendale is called for a foul. A push-off foul called against Wyatt Wilson that time, as he and Elroy Happy got kind of tied up, a little bit of hand fighting, and Wilson gets called for it here. It's the first foul on Wilson. Nail back to work on an inbound. Dickens stepped on the sideline. It'll be Canyons basketball. So a Glendale turnover here. 9th turnover of the ball game on Glendale. Canyons has out-rebounded the Vaqueros 27-19 so far in the game. That trend for Glendale continues of getting out-rebounded, which they have done so far in every game this season. Chapman, spinning baseline. Got himself into a body position to put one off the window, just didn't get it to fall. That was a tough shot for Donovan Chapman. Back the other way comes Glendale. Dickens gonna sprint ahead, gonna use those long legs. Stepped on somebody's foot, loses the basketball. Glendale wanting a foul. They have a great argument that time for it. They're just not gonna get the call. See substitutions here. Ryan Powell into the game for Glendale to take over for Tisdale. Orbach off the floor as Georges Aldonor coming into the game for the first time today. Canyons 3 into their rotation in that inside playing position. Abdelnor, one of the only true forwards for Canyons this year. Legal screen on Abdelnor. 3rd foul on Canyons. Glendale slowing things up a little bit. Here's Smith with the basketball. Smith so far today, 13 points and 4 rebounds, couple of assists. Dickens leading the way for Glendale with 14 points. We'll kick it back to Smith. Smith tried to work to his left, wanted to step back into a 3. Instead, dumped it off to Jonathan Akim. Akim now will step into a 3 that's short. Lands right to the lap of Donovan Chapman. Chapman now with 7 boards, closing in on a double-double himself. Canyons inside Abdelnor, triple team, dumps it off. Chapman fouled, and he'll go to the line. That's good work from Donovan Chapman, and a good pass from George Abdelnor. Abdelnor was triple teamed down low as Glendale swarmed him, and he was able to find Chapman, who will shoot 2 shots here. First is good for Chapman. Talked about that scoring prowess for him. Approaching his 4th double-double of the year. Canyons, again, when he scores, when Cornelius scores, when Wilson scores, when these guys all start to put up numbers, it helps Canyons with their depth. They don't rely on Justin Perez, who hasn't had to do anything today. Perez just 2 points on 1 of 4 shooting. But you've got 16 from Wilson, 13 from Cornelius, and 14 now from Donovan Chapman, adding 8 points from Elad Zigel. And you see a 60-44 advantage right now. The defense has played very well for Canyons here, as they've held Glendale to just 16 of 39 shooting. There's another Glendale miss. The rebound, though, comes to the Vaqueros off of a couple of hands. Dickens will try to go to work in isolation. Instead, he'll send it to Smith. Smith will dump it off into the hands of Happy. Now back to Dickens. Powell was running by. Dickens will just move into a shot himself, misses, and Powell gonna run all the way across the floor and get the rebound. Another reset here for Glendale. Rare, a couple of offensive boards for the Vaqueros here in this ball game. Jackson working off the Dickens screen. Now works back to his left, throws it back to Dickens on the screen and roll, and Perez gonna be called for a foul in the cylinder that time, they say, in his personal space. Perez is first, 4th on Canyons. 14-18 to go here. Mohammed back into the ball game for Glendale. Smith wanting to drive. Tried to go high off the window, but hit the side of the backboard. Cornelius fouled from behind by Noah Smith. That's the 2nd on Smith. You have Tyson Jackson on the floor with 4 fouls. Dickens with 2, Smith with 2, Muhammad with 3. Johnson and Graham both with 3. They're gonna send Noah Smith to the bench for right now. Interesting, they leave Tyson Jackson on the floor with 4 fouls. Cornelius makes the first, he'll shoot the penalty. 5 for 6 from the line for Donovan Cornelius, 15 points today. 3 rebounds and an assist as well. Misses on the 2nd. Good rebound by Jackson. Skies and pulls it down with 1 hand. Jackson fouled. Abdelnour, I believe, going to pick it up. Yep. Late on the help that time from Abdelnour. Glendale gets it back in play. They miss off of a shot inside. Canyons quickly blocking foul. Counted in the foul for Donovan Cornelius that time. Sprinting back ahead. And actually the replay system did not pick quite back up yet, so we wanted to bring you a replay. We're not going to get it for you that time. We apologize. But nonetheless, Cornelius now 16 points. Chance to get to 17. His season high this year was 22 against LA City College. 63-44. Canyons can make it a 20-point advantage here. Well, the last time Canyons is at a 20-point lead here at home, they nearly get a turnover that time. Instead, it'll be Jackson on the other side to finish it off. Jackson now with 15. Canyons quickly back ahead. Wilson for three is good. Wyatt Wilson with 19, his season high. And the lead is 20 now, 66-46, 13:23 to go. Canyons has been rolling on the offensive side. They've done a good job defensively. Not that time, though. It was a smooth shot from Jackson. Pretty easy look for Tyson Jackson to cut it back to an 18-point lead. The Canyons has had it all working when they've needed it. Wilson thought about it. Now he's going to throw it over to Cornelius. Cornelius wanting to drive, and a carry called on Donovan Cornelius. Stacey Webb coming back into the game. Canyons just 10 turnovers in the ball game. Glendale the same. Cougars out rebounding the Vaqueros 30-24 so far in the ball game. Canyons 23 of 48 and 7 of 6 from 16 from 3. Glendale 18 of 45 and 7 of 18 from 3. Canyons shooting the three ball well today. Hakim an air ball. Wilson will collect. Shooting 43% from 3, which is well above their season average of 34. That's no good. A foul on Perez on the rebound. That's the 6th foul on Canyons. Second foul on Perez. The next foul actually puts Glendale in the bonus. Canyons actually shooting 2 the rest of the way. We have 12:30 to go, so we're going to have a lot of foul shots. It's going to be a game of foul shots as we come down the stretch here, unless the officials start to loosen their whistles a little bit. But right now, it's been a heavy foul second half. Muhammad has it stripped by Abdelnour. Webb back to Abdelnour, dumps off Perez, blocked by Jackson, comes to Wilson, and Wilson will just lay it in with the left hand. A little sloppy, but she'll take it from Canyons. The lead goes back to 20. Cougars get a good break that time. 12 minutes even to go. Dickens, covered by Wilson. Got it to Mohammed, kicks it out top. Hakim, a 3 from deep, no good. Webb, a rebound, is a good box out by Perez to allow him to get there. Webb now will run it up the floor to the foul line, spinning, looking for space. Dumps it underneath to Perez, but had it stripped. Good strip by Tyson Jackson that time. Back the other way, Muhammad. No good. Rebound off of Canyons and out of play. Ziegel and Orbach back in, Abdelnour and Perez off the floor. The Canyons team 4-10 on the season, but as we talked about in the women's game, same thing here in the men's game. Season resets once you get to conference play, and anything can happen. You look at a 4-10 record and you say, well, it's going to be tough to try and make the 3C2A playoffs, but if you finish tops in your conference, you get in automatically, and you can turn your season around if you have a good conference season. Right now, trying to get off to a good start here, leading by 20 points, 11:08 to go. They got another defensive stop, and they work into a half-court offense. Canyons will probably run into their 30-second offense for most of the rest of the contest here. Good open-looking Wilson, an easy two-handed finish. Wilson with a big game today, 23 points, give Roz Orbach the assist, his third of the ball game, and it's 70-48 Canyons running right now. Everything working for the Cougars. Here's Powell, kicks back, Smith a three on a late closeout, but it's short. Good late contest by Cornelius. Webb the easy board. Cornelius back the other way from the wing in transition, dribbles through traffic, throws one up with the right hand, draws the blocking foul, called against Hakim. Cornelius will go back to the line. Well, the Cougars have just been rolling today. See Cornelius there drawing the foul, just dribbling out of two bodies, finding a way. Makes the first. Cornelius has been good from the line today. Or not, actually, scratch that. Chapman has been good from the line today. The two Donovans, they both start with the last name, or their last name starts with C's. I get them confused all the time. I apologize to the boys. But Donovan Cornelius, 5 of 8 from the line. Donovan Chapman, 7 of 8 from the line. Cornelius knocks both of those down low. He's got 18 points. Chasing down his season highs, the lead 72-48. Tyson Jackson now back to work with the basketball for Glendale. Got it to Kim, drops it back to Jackson off the screen. Canyons had to switch, so Orbach having to guard, and Jackson just puts one up over the top. Boy, Tyson Jackson, 19 points now. This is a young man in Tyson Jackson. His season high was 39 against Santa Barbara. Shoots 45% in Glendale's wins, but 26% in their losses today. 8 of 14, so he's about 50%. Canyons has just been better. They've held everybody else down. Look, Noah Smith, who shoots 40% and wins, is just 4 of 18 today. That one blocked by Dickens, got a hand on it. Glendale trying to press the pace, looking for a 5-0 run. Jackson gets them that 5-0 run, and a timeout called on the floor. A good transition three that time from Tyson Jackson. As you take another look off the block, Mohammed running the break, tosses it off to Jackson, who's wide open, knocks it down, and a full timeout on the floor will break as well. 9:36 to go, 72-53, Canyons leading. (72-53), Canyons back in the lead. Webb with a three, no good. Canyons misses on the offensive set that time. Glendale back to work. Jackson trying to work against Donovan Cornelius this time. Step away, fall away jumper. It was off the hand of Roz Orbach, but it was an air ball, so it'll be Glendale basketball with 14 seconds to shoot. Wilson checking out. Chapman coming back onto the floor. Canyons just working through their progressions on the rotations here. Jackson, little lane jumper is good. Canyons 14 of 18 from the line. That's That's an important number for Canyons. If they shoot the ball from the line well, they have an even better chance. Orbach and Ziegel playing catch. They miss on what should have been a bucket that time, and that's going to frustrate Howard Fisher, and it's going to be Canyons basketball here. Canyons will get the basketball back. They get a fortunate break after what should have been an easy bucket. They'll go back to work. Offensive foul called against Donovan Cornelius here. That's his 4th foul. So Cornelius with 18 points on 5 of 7 shooting and 6 of 9 from the foul line. Has to go to the bench with 4 fouls. 7th foul on Canyons, but it was an offensive foul, so no shots that time for Glendale. Jackson tried to heat up, missed that time. Jackson with 24 points. Glendale has leaned on him heavily to try and keep them in this game. Canyons with a turnover here as Webb and Chapman miscommunicate. Dickens back the other way, no good. Chapman the rebound, dribbling himself out of trouble. Bounces off of his shins, goes to Ziegel. Ziegel sprinting right ahead. And then he's called for an offensive foul. Figueroa gonna come in. So Figueroa checking back in. Canyons trying to keep this lead extended here. 72-55, 7:49 to go. Glendale trying to get back in it. Here's Hakim for 3. Finally knocks one down, his first in 4 attempts today. But Glendale all of a sudden back within 14. The lead was 20 for Canyons. Mohammed gets a takeaway on a telegraphed pass. Counted in the foul on the other side for Dickens. And Glendale starting to roll. Canyons had done a good job to this point to limit Glendale, but they've kind of taken their foot off the gas after that last time out and really have not found their footing yet. You've seen a lot of players in and out, a 30-second timeout on the floor. Glendale starting to find their rhythm. 23 of 58 from the floor. Again, this is a Glendale team. It's a high volume offense. Gonna go over 70 or 60 field goal attempts for the 7th time this season. Their season high in field goals attempted in a game was 69 against Desert, a game they won 69-63. They put up a lot of shots. They just don't score a lot necessarily for Glendale. 9 of 22 from 3. And that again, another spot for Glendale. 5 games with 10 or more threes in the game. They're 3-2 when they do that. Canyons this season has allowed 10 or more threes 1 time. Exactly 10 in a 76-61 loss against Cypress on the road. Otherwise, Canyons has been really good at defending the 3 this season. Only 83 pointers against coming into today, which is 15th fewest in the state, but Glendale with 9 here today. Another rebound for Donovan Chapman. He's a double-double again today, his 4th of the season. 14 points and 10 boards for Chapman. Cornelius back in there with 4 fouls. Canyons gets it to Perez. Perez has been very quiet today. Canyons will work it inside. Orbach triple teamed down low, and he's going to be called for a travel. And that's kind of the problem at times when Canyons tries to work inside to Orbach. He catches the ball, lowers his head, and the defenses collapse on him, and that's created a little bit of trouble this year at times. Orbach keeps his head up. Foul on Perez for a hand check. We'll send Dickens to the line for 1 and 1. This was 6:52 to go. We shoot the rest of actually he's gonna shoot 2, it's a bonus. And the plus. So we're shooting double foul shots the rest of the way for both sides. Dickens makes the first. Dickens now is 16. Can cut the lead, scratch that 17. Can cut the lead to 10. Does, knocks it down on the number, and some tense moments for the final 650. After Canyons led by 20, they took their foot off the gas here in the second half, and Glendale has closed it back down to a 10-point game. Chapman got it to Orbach, no good. Contested by Glendale. Dickens running it ahead. Be smart to deck Donovan Cornelius as he's got 4 fouls. Instead, they'll get it to Mohammed, and now Perez is going to pick up his 4th foul. That'll bring Wyatt Wilson back in. .22 fouls on Glendale, 18 on Canyons in the ballgame. Mohammed, who is perfect on the season from the line, knocks the first down. Back to a 9-point game. Make it an 8-point game as Mohammed knocks them both down. Figueroa to bring it in. Canyons turns it over. Chapman threw it ahead. Not a very sure-handed pass that time. Jackson trying to draw contact, no. Mohammed, no. Cornelius gonna pick up his 5th foul. And that's gonna end the ball game for Donovan Cornelius. 18 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 5 fouls. That's going to bring Stacey Webb back in. So a good day for Cornelius, except for the 5 fouls. And now Canyons will have to go the rest of the way without him for 6:19. They lead by 8 at the moment. First of 2 is good for Noah Smith. Smith will look at the second here. Knocks them both down. Ziegel will check in. Takes over for Figueroa. And all of a sudden, a Canyons lead, which was 20, is down to 6 here. Glendale will stay in a full court press, as that's created some of the problems for Canyons. They have not even been able to get the ball out of their own side of midcourt. Ziegel sprinting ahead, dumps to Orbach. He got it to fall. Somehow Orbach got it around 3 bodies charging at it. So Canyons breaks I think a 6-0 run for Glendale. Unfortunately, we don't have a runs tracker here handy. Kim will go back to work. Sends it off Smith, over to Mohammed. Drives against Orbach, counted in the foul for Mohammed. He's trying to heat up here. And Glendale with a chance to get back within 1 possession. Scratch that, within 2 possessions here, so they'll take a timeout. Nope. So it's still a 6-point game. They can get it down to 5 points here with a Mohammed 3, who has been perfect today from 3. Glendale starting to roll here. We talked about Glendale, 60 shots today, 24 of 60. In their wins today, or this season, their 6 wins, they've only won twice when getting over 60 field goal attempts in a game. They made 77 field goal attempts against Grossmont, made 37 of them. And were 24 of 69 against Desert. Today, 24 of 60. But 9 of 22 from 3. It's the big number right now. 11 of 13 from the line. Mohammed to the line. Chance for the old-fashioned 3-point play. He's got it. 5-point game. 5:53 to go. Glendale staying in the full court press here. Canyons able to break it this time. Inside Wilson will dribble it out of some trouble here. Back to Webb as Canyons will slow things down. Right about when Canyons kind of took their foot off the gas trying to get into a 30-second offense, that Glendale started to come back. And there's a big shot from Donovan Chapman to try and get Canyons offense reignited. He's got 17 now. Presses the lead all the way back up to 8. Jackson with a fall-away jumper from 10 feet, no good. Ziegel the rebound, and Canyon's going to be able to lock it back up the floor. Webb across the timeline. Wilson using his body to press Jackson off of him a little bit. Chapman guarded tightly here by Dickens. Two big, long bodies battling that time. Now Ziegel trying to drive baseline against Mohammed. Reverse layup is good for Gilad Ziegel. He's got double figures today. Just the 4th time for him in double digits. 3rd straight game for him, though. And Canyons has the lead back up to 10. Ziegel brings down the board. Canyons back ahead. Wilson, a reverse layup. Wilson with 25 now. And Canyons starting to pick up the defensive pressure, turning it into offense. They've stretched the lead back to 12. Here's Smith back to work. Drives, kicks, Dickens stepped on the sideline, wave it off. Canyons creates a turnover. And they'll go back to work offensively. 13th turnover of the ball game on Glendale. Ziegel driving, missed on a layup. I'm sure Howard Fisher will be happy about that. Smith back to work. Glendale trying to go here. Jackson kicks, Hakim, corner 3, no good. Jackson pokes a rebound out. Dickens will pick it up. Dickens trying to work. Dickens today, 3 of 4 from 3. Glendale usually strong when he shoots the ball from 3 well, but Canyons has just had better answers. Good dish from Ziegel to find Wilson. Wilson with a season high 27. And with 3:33 to go, Canyons back out in front by 14. 2 big steps from Jackson off the window, no. Ziegel another rebound. Driving ahead, he's fouled. Foul goes against Smith, his 3rd. Ziegel back to the line to shoot 2 foul shots here. Gilad Ziegel this season, 50% from the line, 11 of 22. First trip today. Misses the first. Ziegel, the 6'4" guard out of Taft High School. 11 points, 3 boards against Pierce in just 18 minutes today. 10 points, 5 rebounds. In 17 minutes, makes 1 of 2, so he stays at 50% on the season. The lead now to 15, excuse me. 84-69, 3:13 to go. Orbach called for a holding foul. Hakim will go to the line. Jonathan Hakim, 73% from the line, 11 of 15 on the year. Jackson, 24 points, 4 rebounds. Dickens with another double-double, 18 and 10. His 2nd double-double of the season, his first with 25 and 10 against Grossmont. Both foul shots good. Ziegel down low, gets an easy bucket. So Canyons stretching it back out to 15, 2:50 to go. Glendale, they've shown streaks where they can score in bunches. Canyons trying to keep them from doing that, and they do this time. Good fast break, run that time from the Cougars. An easy finish for Donovan Chapman. He's got 19, and Canyons has stretched the lead back up to 17. and have just about put this one away for their first conference win of the season, their first 2-game win streak of the season. If they can hold on here, leading by 17, 2:20 to go. Hakim for 3. That's good, his second 3 of the ball game. Jonathan Hakim, who shoots 35% from 3, 15 of 42 coming into today. Has 8 points now in the ball game. Chapman, a heat check, it's good. Chapman his third 3. Give him 22 to match his season high. Jackson a 3, no good. Zigel an easy board. Canyons will take their time up the floor here. Wilson, he'll take a 3. Oh, Wilson knocks it down. His 5th of the ball game. Timeout on the floor. Canyons 94, Glendale 73. A minute 35 to go. We'll take the timeout. Seconds of the ball game here. 94-74, final 81 minutes of the ball game, or 81 seconds of the ball game here. Missed a Glendale turnover. We're having a little technical issue, but we're back to work here. Webb back to work. Canyons gonna pick up a conference win back-to-back games for the first time this season. They'll get to 5-10. They'll start their conference season off on the right foot. And they'll go against Antelope Valley on Monday, trying to make it 3 in a row. Antelope Valley today, didn't get to the scoreboard for the men's side. We'll try and see if we can pull it up here in the final few seconds. Canyons will get a reset here. Still working on the offensive side. Webb will fall down. Canyons will call a timeout, 2 seconds on the shot clock. Cougars can just take a shot clock violation here. They lead 94-74. Look on the men's side. Moore Park beat Ventura 103-67. San Bernardino Valley 100 points beat Desert 100-87. See if any of the other WSC games are going on. Bakersfield losing to West LA 73-54. Antelope Valley losing to Citrus 86-79 at home with 2:59 to go. Gee, look, Canyons could be top of the table, as you would say, after tonight. Along with the other teams that may be looking to win their first conference game of the season. Of course, the only game not going, Santa Monica, LA Valley. Those postponed today as they're fighting off the fire. City of Santa Monica was nearly evacuated. They had an evacuation warning for the entire city on Wednesday. So I would imagine the Palisades fire creating some of that issue for Santa Monica City College. 2 seconds on the shot clock here, 34.9 to go. Canyons will inbound. Wilson and alley-oop! That gets the crowd on their feet. Wilson with a clean 30. 96-74. Canyons gonna win their 5th game of the season, their first conference game of the year. They'll start the conference season off 1-0 with a signature win here over Glendale today. A huge performance for Wyatt Wilson, 32 points for him on 13 of 18, kept off by the alley-oop dunk from Donovan Chapman, who had a double-double, 22 and 11, and the Cougars get the win. A solid performance for Howard Fisher's squad. They'll do it again on Monday as they take on Antelope Valley Monday. We hope to have you here for that one as well. We thank you for joining us. Stay safe, everybody out there in the fires. Be careful. We hope to see you again on Monday. Canyons wins at 96-74 over Glendale here from Lee Smelser Court inside the Cougar cage.